All right. This is gonna be June 20th, 2024 trade recap. All right. So yesterday we did have a bank holiday, so I did not trade Wednesday, and so coming into the morning today, I know, sorry, I noticed that we took out Monday's highs, Tuesday's highs during the London session, and after that I was like, okay, what can we do from here? So we had a 4-hour FEG here, and to continue higher, we should have respected this FEG to continue higher. However, we didn't, and we completely closed below it at 10 a.m. close. So we closed below it. So I'm thinking now, after that, we closed below this 4-hour FEG right here, and this one, we are most likely going to seek for lower liquid or sell side liquidity. And the sell side liquidity I marked out was this daily FEG right here. It's basically the daily FEG's high, and it was Tuesday's low of day. So that was my idea that we were going to take out, or my anticipation, my objective was to take out sell side liquidity, and we retrace back into it. So I actually wasn't able to get any entries here attacking sell side. The only entry that I I was going to take was actually this one right here, because based off of the 2-minute FEG and how we were going to most likely attack the 15-minute.
I searched this
Out of my room. I'm doing something right now. So based off of this 15-minute candle right here, this one, my cursor, I was anticipating for us to take out that candle's low. So that would have been, just, so I'm assuming it would have been this low right here. So my entry would have been right here, and it was taking out this low. Taking this low, so after prices takes out that low right there, I would have moved my stop loss to break even, just because of looking at this 15-minute candle and how we had a 2-minute FEG, and we opened up, and this was actually at 10 o'clock too, so I waited until 10 o'clock. We dipped back into the 2-minute FEG, and we took out the low, and then I would have moved my stop loss to break even. But as you can see on the live stream, I did I did state that the reason why the trade didn't let me in was because of I was on the previous month's contract, so I was on the wrong contract month, and my top step challenge doesn't allow that, and it forces you to trade the current month. So I I moved over to this month, and then that was when I was able to figure out the situation. But yeah, so I missed out on basically that entire move from here. So we took out sell side, and we began to retrace, and we retraced back into a 15-minute FEG here. And I'm not taking any entries just based off of this 15-minute FEG. I wanted to see more confirmation that we're going to continue lower by looking at like power of 3 and such. So as we began to start displacing lower and completely lower here, and that's when I was like, okay, we're digging even deeper into sell side levels. So my first trade of the day was actually at this candle right here. It was based off of this 15-minute candle, this one right here. And the reason why I took this trade, is because of how this candle closed. Okay, so you just take a look at this power of 3. Are we going to take out this candle's high here, or are we going to take out this candle's low? Surely you would have said this candle's low. So with that in mind, I had an objective. We came back into a 15-minute fair value gap, and we respected it. So we came in, and we continued lower. And on the 5-minute, so with the 15-minute objective in mind, I went onto the lower time frames of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to find, any supporting ideas that would help us take out that previous 15-minute low. And so here is a 5-minute FEG that we had respect to, and this is that 15-minute candle I'm talking about. This low right here. This is the low. So that's the low that I'm targeting. So we've shown respect to this 5-minute FEGs by continuing lower, and we create another 5-minute FEG. And as you can see here, once I start playing the replay, we spike up into this 5-minute FEG where I took my entry at the 5-minute FEG, and I had my stop losses at the high of it. So I had my stop loss right at the open, right there, and my first partial was actually right here, so it would have been an 0.83 trade. And so once we take out this 15-minute low, I moved my stops to break even, and then I had another, so I had took two partials off, my two contracts off there, and I took off another two here, and I left one runner to target this 1 minute. So I said 1 minute. I'm sorry. This 1 hour, small FEG here. So we actually all three targets got hit, and that was my first winning trade. So I have it on my notes here. So let's recap that again. So coming into the morning, I was favoring sell side liquidity. We displaced lower, closing below a 4-hour BC. During the London session, this allowed me the insight and thought that we will be seeking lower prices. I was not able to catch any of the move lower during the morning session. However, I waited for some sort of retracement during the PM session to to take a trade. So when we retraced back into 15-minute fair value gap, we began to sell off, and we displaced lower we displaced lower on the 5-minute time frame, and we created 5-minute FEGs. And when I say pay attention to the 15-minute candle I marked off, this is the 15-minute candle right here. So we're anticipating we are anticipating for prices to run this 15-minute candle's low. And the next 15-minute candle should be a open, high, low, close candle, taking out the previous 15-minute candle's low. And on the 5-minute time frame, we were respecting 5-minute FEGs, and I took an entry at the 130 open at the 5-minute FEG. And my objective was only to take out previous 15-minute candle low. So after we take out that objective, I moved stop loss to break even, and then I let the trade, take out second TP, and like I said, that hourly FEG low or high, sorry. So that was my first trade, and yeah, it was a winning trade. Not much. I think the key points in this trade was that I was trading the lower time frames objective. I wasn't trading, higher time frame. I wasn't anticipating, like a complete, we go even lower and lower. I took what I was given. So what the market gave me, I just took it for what it gave me. And then my second trade was not so long after that. So actually my second trade was actually at the next 15-minute candle actually. So like I said, I anticipated this candle to be a open, high, low, and then close somewhere, right? But that wasn't the case. We had a open, remember on the higher time frames here, on the lower time frames we opened, we hit that 5-minute FEG, and we went lower, and then we actually close above the open, and that's where that's what it basically looked like, this candle right here. So looking at this candle's PO3, I am anticipating for us to run this candle's high right here, and with that in mind, I went onto the lower time frames, rinse and repeat. I went onto the 5-minute time frame, and I noted out, hey, we just closed above this 5-minute SIBI here, and we created a 5-minute FEG. So with that in mind, I marked out the 5-minute FEG, and this is the previous 15-minute candle low right here, So with this 145 PO3 right here, this what I mean is that when I say 145, that's basically the time when the new 15-minute candle is gonna open. So I anticipated for the next 15-minute candle to be a open, low, high, close. So I waited until the 145 open, kind of like chopped around for a little bit until we actually retraced back inside this 5-minute FEG, this 5-minute inversion fair value gap, and I had entries at the 5-minute FEG and targeted. I was targeting the partial, the 15-minute high, the complete fill-in of this little fair value gap right here, this 15-minute fair value gap, and yeah, that was basically my second trade. So my second trade was I was able to find another trade based off of the 15-minute and 30-minute candle closure. We began to displace back inside the range. So we displaced back inside the range on a 5-minute time frame. And when I say displacement, I mean fair value gaps. So we displaced back inside the range of the 5-minute time frame. We also closed above a 5-minute SIBI, and that gave me the idea that we were going to go higher for the time being. And with that in mind, I waited until the 145 open to take my entry because I'm playing off the next 15-minute candles open, power of 3, so open, low, high, close. And my objective for the trade was taking out previous 15-minute high. And notice how I am buying below the 130 PO3 and the 145 PO3. And if you guys take a look, we can also see here on the 30-minute candle that, so on the time frame I based my trade off, it was actually the 15-minute. But when this 30-minute candle closed, I can tell that, hey, we're gonna probably go even higher than just that 15-minute candle's high. So that allowed me to be able to hold my runners for higher price targets. And yeah, that's basically all for my trade recap. I did take actually another trade. I didn't do a recap over it, but I'll talk to you guys over it. So my third trade actually was a losing trade, and before I talk about that, I do want to note that I usually don't trade, or one of my rules states that I'm not allowed to trade the very last 30 minutes of a 4-hour candle. But these setups that was given was it followed my plan, but my trade plan, but it didn't fit my rule set. So I don't know how I should tweak that. It was actually like it was, for me it's an A+ setup because we had displacement on the lower time frame, and we had a time frame above it objective. So both these trades were actually during the 30 minutes that I wasn't supposed to take any trades. So one thing I could do better is probably follow my be disciplined. Even if that trade setup is like an A+ setup according to my plan, I shouldn't take it because my rule set says that I shouldn't trade the last 30 minutes of a 4-hour candle. And so my next trade actually was at 2:30. So taking a look at the 30-minute time frame here, what can we anticipate for it to happen? So I based my trade off of this 30-minute candle closure. Are we most likely going to take out this candle's 30 minutes candles high, or are we going to take out this 30-minute candles low? I basically orchestrated, constructed my trade to take out the 30-minute candles low and retrace back into this FEG here, this hourly FEG that we did not retrace back into. So with that in mind, I had the 30-minute candles high as my objective. I went onto the lower time frames, the 5-minute, the 15-minute, 15, 5-minute, and below. So at 1:30, we opened. We didn't take out the high yet, the 30-minute high. So the first PD array that I was looking at was at this 5-minute FEG here that we just kind of kind of consolidated and we showed respect to the consequent encroachment. So I was anticipating for us to, like, what I was thinking in my head was that the reason why we're, waiting in this 5 minute FEG here is because we were just waiting on time. So we were just waiting on the 230 open to, dip back inside this FEG one last time and then continue higher to take out, 30-minute high and then probably retrace back into this hourly FEG. But however, that wasn't the case, and we tapped back into here and we just continued lower. This trade right here, I would have taken again. It follows my rule plans. After the 230, I'm buying below the 230 open. One thing I did notice that was I was actually buying above the 2 o'clock p.m. 4-hour open. I anticipated for this one to just be like, we were gonna take off. We weren't gonna retrace back into the 2-hour, not 2 hour, 2 p.m. open, but yeah, we retraced even deeper into the 15-minute FEG and didn't really show too much respect to it, and we just continued lower the rest of the day, kind of consolidation. So yeah, my first trade I had 5 contracts, my second trade I had 3, and my third trade I had 5. I'm not too sure why I did that. That is something I could work on. So I should have taken 5. My first trade was a winner, so I took 5 contracts there. My second trade, I had in mind that, hey, I don't want to be risking the same amount because I just won a previous trade, so I want to lower my size. So I lowered my size on the second trade, ended up being a winner. And in the third trade, I got overconfident, and then I took, the normal amount of size that I should have taken. But because, I took 2 winners already, I should lower my risk and, kind of soften because not every trade is guaranteed. So I should have softened it even more and not take, the normal amount of contracts. And because I was just being overconfident, that's one thing I can work on. Is I should have taken 5, 3, and maybe like 2 or 1 contract there, but I still ended up green on the day. We had I can't show log into my Top Step account, but I did end up the day with around 150 in profit. I was actually up around 400, and that one losing trade was, because of my 3 contracts, the R to R actually got a little bit scuffed, and yeah. So those are my 3 trades that I did take today. Those are my recaps for the 3 trades. Just for an outlook for tomorrow, I am anticipating like, hey, look, so if we close like this on the daily time frame, I don't know what we would do because we actually closed above the consequent encroachment, and I think we ticked it. We went 1 tick below the daily FEG, but it's not a coincidence that this happened. So tomorrow I want to note out this 4-hour FEG here, and if we don't continue lower from this 4-hour FEG and we trade up and then we close above it and then we have displacement like on the hourly time frame or even 4-hour time frame, then we might treat this FEG as an inversion and continue lower. But if we show respect to this, then we should continue lower. But yeah, it all depends on whether this 4-hour FEG gets respected or not. And yeah, so that is my my little insight about what could happen tomorrow. I'm not completely sure. That is just the the outline and my thought process just as of now. Anything could happen overnight, but yeah. With that's gonna be all for my trade recap for June 20th, 2024, and I'll catch you guys later on the next time. Peace out.